Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Wonder of Wonders, the English rendering of Paramahamsa Sadguru SriSatupasi's Kannada classic Mahadascharya. Audio. Chapter 2. Om Shri Guru Dattaya Namaha. 12 hours mantra chanting. Shiva brings and gives milk. All my sadhana, ceaseless chanting of Om Namah Shivaya was done in my privacy, unknown to anyone, anywhere, in any manner. This didn't affect any one of my duties and functions. The reverence, fear, anointed devotion, bhaya and bhakti which I had towards my father and mother was greater than it was to God. It had lodged itself in me. Even they, my parents, had no inkling of the achala shraddha, steadfast faith and devotion I had reposed in Bhagavanta. All this was going on in the antaranga, in my interior and invisible, avyakta. Whatever I did, it was done at the compulsive behest of my father, and I did it without causing any displeasure to him. I did all this only as part of my duty. Desires, longings, benefits for worldly advancement, I had none. One evening, I was washing my hands and legs to go home after day-long labor on the farm. Hanmantappa, Mallanna and Ramadasappa, all from our own Dodderi village, came to me and said, "How are you? We are going to the Kanneshwara temple. Do you come with us?" "Why? Is there anything to be done by me?" I asked. "Well, nothing indeed. If you come there, we will let you know," they replied. "No, if you tell me why, I will," I assured. Edigara Hanumantappa began. "Now look, we want to hold a Shivanama Smarane session, beginning from 6 this evening to 6 the next morning, all through the night," and began to describe. "It should be non-stop. Those that begin at 6 must sit through till next morning. They shouldn't stir in the least, not pass for a sip of water or get out for a breather, not even think of it. They must utter in loud unison, Om Namah Shivaya. If you have the power and strength, samarthya to do Shivanama Smarane from evening 6 to the next morning 6, come with us, otherwise no." Shiva Shiva, what kind of a test is this? I was doing it, that is Namasmarane, without any outsider knowing it. Now it is to be done in the midst of everyone. It's like a challenge. Stressed body due to day-long labor and problem of hunger pangs, whatever it may be, this call Shiva alone must have triggered. "Okay, let's go," I said, and accompanied them to the temple as I was. There at the temple, we did neither puja nor any punaskara. The two persons sat in the panje, the foyer of the temple, one on the side and the other on the other side. At that time, there was no outer chavdi. Edigara Hanumantajja and I entered the sanctum and sat before the linga. Hanumantappa sat to the left and I to the right. Ramadasappa said once again from outside, "Brothers, it is now 5 to 6. Now all of you must say aloud in one voice, Om Namah Shivaya. Mustn't stop in the middle or go out, and your calling shouldn't become feeble and shouldn't fall asleep. Let's see once and for all who has more devotion towards Shiva." We started 6 sharp. If I were to say how it was like the 330 crore divinities, including the Shivaganas, recalling and saying all of them in one voice, Om Namah Shivaya, in the Kailasa. The joy derived was ineffable to me, who had never openly articulated my ceaseless chanting of that name. So far, it was giving me unspeakable happiness. Around midnight 12, those sitting outside the temple fell into silence and sleep. Hanmantappa, who was beside me, was continuing his chanting of Shivanama off and on. His voice tended to fall low, and even then he continued his chanting. I wasn't conscious of anything. It must be around 2 in the night. I had no problem, no tiresomeness, no hunger, no thirst, no problems whatsoever. Each time the holy name was called, its sound and pitch was getting louder and higher. At that moment, all of a sudden, I felt an all pervasive sign of sleep. A sleep that would finish me. The feeling didn't wane. It wasn't possible to open my eyes. Instantaneously, I began hitting my head to the wall which was to my right. It was like this. I would chant Om Namah Shivaya and hit my head against the stone wall to my right with such force that the peeled of flakes and chips of gare began falling on me. Gare is cement substitute. Fear struck everyone has started at looking at me. Sleepy or awake, but their mouth fails to open for calling Om Namah Shivaya. Pieces of plastered gare have begun falling. Though sleep is gone, chanting of Om Namah Shivaya to the beat of hitting my head to the wall has made me ecstatic. It may be around 4. Hanmantappa, sitting to my right, is chanting discontinuously Om Namah Shivaya. Now once and the next sometime later. Like one too tired, exhausted, and extremely drained, like one caught in the slumber of sleep, he was continuing his chanting once a while. It's around 5:30 in the morning, perhaps time for daybreak. I felt that some unknown being appears to have come in. I just saw his feet alone. I had never seen a feet so long, so big, and so supple. Even then, I hadn't seen him full. As soon as he came, he stood for a second before the linga and turned his divine feet outward. Then he moved out. Hanmantappa announced, Time now is 6 and continued, Enough, stop, and it's 6. Then I did Namaskara to Kanneshwara and sat down. He himself said, Look, bro, someone seems to have come and left, I felt. I couldn't identify him. Look, he seems to have kept something on the linga and left. I stood up and saw a tiny earthen pot it was. Someone had kept it filled with fresh milk. Who is it that has kept this pot of milk? I asked. All those who were there at that time said, Whosoever he may be, you please drink all of it. We will take leave of you, and left. Offering something of it as Naivedya to the linga, I drank all the leftover milk. My stomach was full. Leaving that cup-like pot there alone, I went near the kapale, lift water well. I came back the next day and found that there was no cup. Although the head had been hit to the stone wall from 2 to 6 in the morning, there wasn't a speck of an injury or pain. I swear this in the name of Shiva. It was that night alone the Shivanama was chanted in a manner audible to others by me. I was always doing it in my mind, unheard by others. I was calling Shiva with the loudest pitch of my voice whenever I was sure that there was none around. I would look around to make sure that there is none. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat.